Hi guys, and welcome back to English Harmony video blog. Obviously, I'm Robbie, your English fluency mentor, and in this video, let's talk about overanalyzing things when you're trying to speak or write in English. And it happens an awful lot, and it's actually one of the main reasons why foreign English speakers fail to attain fluency in writing and most predominantly in speech, because they're constantly trying to choose one of the available options. And let me describe the whole situation so that it's clear to you what I'm exactly talking about. Recently I published an article. As a matter of fact, it happened yesterday. You may want to check it out here. And it's called A Million English Grammar Questions Answered by Robbie. Obviously there's not a million of them there, but it's just that I'm going to be adding on more questions to that article as time goes by, so I can't put a definite figure on it, whether it's 23 or 28 or whatever. I just stuck in the figure a million to make it a bit more appealing for anyone who might visit my blog and read that article, right? And in this article I'm answering my blog visitors' grammar-related questions. And it's not really consistent with my English Harmony philosophy, which is actually all against grammar analysis. Basically, do away with anything grammar related and just focus on your speech. By learning specific word groups alone, you're gonna get the grammar right in the end, right? But anyway, here's the question which illustrates what I'm gonna be talking about today. I have a question that's been bothering me ever since I've been preparing to write an essay. What's the difference between if I did something and if I do something? This makes me confused and I don't know how to choose between these two when writing an essay. And obviously I responded to that question, I answered it on that article, but this actually illustrates a major issue among non-native English speakers, trying to figure out which one of the two to choose. And obviously, if you're in the middle of a conversation, it just stops you dead in your tracks, you just freeze. You don't know what to say because your mind is constantly working in overdrive trying to choose one of the available options. Well, the obvious answer is just to go with one of them. Don't think too much. If you make a mistake, that's fine, but at least you're gonna say something, right? And saying something is almost always better than saying nothing, right? And after that, you can analyze what you say, you can check whether what you said is right or wrong, and then learn from your mistakes. We are all capable of self-correction, and you may want to read this article, which is all about self-correction, and it's something that a lot of foreign English speakers are struggling with. You guys think, if my English is not perfect, how can I correct myself? Believe me, you can. Anyone can. For as long as you put some effort into the process. You can, and that's what I've been doing for years. Up until recently. Well, I do it even in this day and age, but to a lesser degree, because I've achieved, I don't want to be bragging about it, but I've achieved quite high level of fluency, and there's not that many mistakes in my speech, even though I never aim for perfection. It's just that after all these years of constant practicing, my fluency has reached a level of, well, I was going to say perfection, but let's not use this word. I can speak fluently enough, right? That's enough for me. But I'm notorious for straying off the subject, right? What was the initial thing I was going to talk about? I was saying that, yeah, you are stopped dead in your tracks. You don't know what to say. Yeah, say something, self-correction, all that, right? So speaking of this particular question, right, which one to use? It's all about conditional sentences in this particular example, right? There are three types of conditional sentences as far as I'm aware, but I'm not such a grammar geek, right, as I used to be, because I'm not focusing on grammar at all. It's just that while responding to these questions, I had to look into certain aspects of grammar, refresh them in my mind, and basically conditional sentence type 1 is present tense followed by simple future. If I do this now, I will, right? And then conditional sentence type 2, if I did it now, I would. And then it's all about the probability. whenever the probability is higher, you have to stick with closer to the conditional sentence type 1. So basically, if the action in question is highly probable, you have to use conditional sentence type 1. And if it's very unlikely to happen because it happened in the past and you can't change the past, there's the conditional sentence type 3, which is past perfect, right? If I had done it, I would have, and all these grammar constructs. But the real question is, the million-dollar question is, how do you go about assessing whether the particular action you're going to describe, whether it's highly probable or less probable or very improbable at that particular moment in time when you have to speak with that person? If you start analyzing all these things, you're just going to go mad. You're not going to be able to say anything. And all these available options, right? Sentence 1, the conditional sentence type 1, type 2, type 3, there's a big risk, right, that they would kind of mix together. You would start saying, if I did, and then you would end it with I would have, and all these grammar constructs, right? Stop confusing yourself. Basically, don't analyze. Whatever you think at that particular moment in time is right, just say it. Even if it's conditional sentence type 3 and you say it instead of 1, right? It's not going to be a major mistake. Yes, sometimes it might sound a bit awkward to say. In an instance, if you are at a party, say, and you tell your friend, listen, if we go home now, we'd make it back for the TV show on time, right? And then if you say, if we'd left now, we would have made it back home for the TV show, right? It wouldn't be right, because that would kind of imply that the event has already happened, that you missed the opportunity to be back home at time and all that. But even if you said it, it's no big deal. You would be still understood. Yes, probably conditional sentence type 3 and 1, if you mix the two, it does sound awkward, but conditional sentence type 1 and 2, they're used interchangeably in conversational English all the time, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So basically, whichever you prefer, you can just say it. If we leave now, we'll make it home on time, or if we left now, we would, and the shortened form obviously is we'd make it home on time. It's fine. Whichever you choose, it's fine. And over the years, as you practice and keep talking and writing, whichever activity you're getting yourself involved into most of the time, obviously, I suggest always, that's what I reiterate on my blog like a broken record, spoken English is the way forward. Your writing will come along somehow by itself, but you have to focus on your spoken English, right? So basically, over the years, you will develop the innate feeling. The innate means kind of in something that's deep inside, something that you're born with, right? So obviously, in this case, the usage of the word innate wouldn't be right, because you are not born with that feeling for correct English. But when you develop it, whatever, let's not analyze usages of certain words. I just said it, innate feeling, just because that word popped up in my mind. You have to do the same thing. Don't analyze too much. Just say it. Whether it's super correct or not so right, people will more often than not just ignore those tiny little mistakes, right? So basically, over time, you're going to develop a gut feeling, which means your guts are going to tell you, right, which is right, which is wrong. And up until then, just say something. Don't analyze too much. Don't compare two things, because if you are faced with the option between one or the other, there's friction in your mind. You can't choose, and then as you have to speak, your mind just draws a blank and you can't say anything. So just go with something, right? Go with something, and then correct yourself, and then learn the proper way of saying it by way of repetition, memorization, self-practice, all that. I've been going on about it for years on end, my friend. And I hope that you can take this piece of advice on board, my friends. So basically, do not analyze grammar constructs too much. Don't compare the two from the available two options. Just go with one of them and see what happens. Improvise. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of being alive, because that's what life is all about. You try something new, you say something new, you do something new. Then see what happens. If it's a mistake, you'll learn from it. If it's not a mistake, perfect. Right? Okay, my friends, I have to run. Well, obviously I'm not running anywhere. I'm just staying here. I have to chat with my Fluency Star customer. Tonight I have 2 chats scheduled. And for those unaware, Fluency Star is my fluency coaching project whereby I'm taking students on board and we're having loads of chat sessions over Skype. And those students' English, obviously, is going to improve beyond recognition, my friends, in a couple of months' time. And the next round, when I'm going to take new customers on board, is February, if I'm not mistaken, right? So you may want to check out this website, fluencystar.com, and see what it's all about, right? Okay, my friends, thanks for watching this video, and talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.